What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pixels and Play, where I game and casually talk about gameplay, art, what I like about it, and give some potential insights and theories on why I feel decisions were made the way that they were. Um, so yeah, this is a brand new series to keep it a little bit more casual. Today, we're going to be looking at a game that I've been playing called SunderFolk. What is SunderFolk? SunderFolk is a cooperative, turn-based tactical RPG designed by Secret Door and published by Dreamhaven. You know, what makes this game unique is how you control your characters on screen. You use a phone or a tablet. It's a free app on Android or Apple, and that is how you do your actions and stuff. And I think it's super unique, especially as a co-op game. Let's talk a little bit about the art style and the art direction. You know, SunderFolk's art direction seems to fuse together approachability, storybook charm with tactical, making things like very readable in terms of making tactical choices. You have like animal-like heroes. They're carefully styled for quick archetype recognition. Combat visuals are very easy to identify. The environment art and the story itself is very rich in lore, and overall it creates like this very inviting visual art style. Lots of the materials and shapes are exaggerated for readability. And that's on purpose, right? Games that are played top down need that to focus more on the macro details and the medium details, and small details are kind of left out because you're not going to be able to see the small details because the camera never gets close enough. I looked up the studio, and the studio has roughly about 30 employees, so it's more on the single A studio. But, reading from their story, it seems like they have a lot of veterans on their team. Lots of people who are like ex Blizzard kind of formed this team. So, when you have such a small studio with such a small team, likely they have very little juniors and a lot more senior and intermediate folk, because they're going to need to put multiple hats on, and they're going to need to be able to be good at all the things that they're going to have to kind of do as a team. For the story bits, there's a lot of voiceover for the main storyteller, or the person that's kind of sharing the lore throughout the game. And they don't really invest a lot of their budget, which I'm sure is limited, on characters during dialogue. They keep it quite simple, where the characters just kind of like pop up and down, just to kind of again focus a little bit more on the gameplay. And I think that's like the main thing that I'm noticing when I'm playing this game, is their focus on just having fun gameplay, and all the fluff and extra nice to haves. They didn't focus on those things because they wanted to focus more on having that polish feel when you're playing this game. Some other random notes here that I wrote down when I was playing this game. If you're new to D&D style type games, RPGs, it takes out the steep learning curve of the rules, and putting it all into this beautifully interactive video game. For the people who are maybe more diehard D&D players, this might feel a little bit more of a simple game. But I think it's perfect as a lower barrier to entry for newer players who are interested in learning and dipping their feet into this type of genre. And I feel like the art style suits that perfectly, with the animal heroes being characters you can choose from. There are 6 you can choose from. There's a bear, which is like the tank brawler. You have the bat bard, who's more of like a support. You have the Arcanist bird, which is, defying gravity and things like that. We have the pyromancers, salamander, the ranger, antelope, and the rogue weasel. So lots of really fun character designs in the game. And what I really like about it is, you know, the story is not overbearing, you know, but it isn't super light either. You know, it has just enough intrigue, you know, for those who are interested to dive in more, but for those who like don't really care, they can just skip it. In terms of the characters and the creatures and the monsters, their animations again are quite simple. You know, they're not going overboard here because again, they likely have a smaller animation team, but everything reads really well. So they're really investing in what's important. You know, if you have a creature that dies, it's gonna be very clear that, you know, the creature is dying. If you're getting hit, if you're doing an attack, like you can read it. You know that that's what is happening, but they're not doing anything fancy. I think they're doing the perfect amount of reuse in terms of in the levels and in the environments. You know, there's a nice something that I noticed with the characters is that there's a nice variety of abilities for each character to help change things up. And as you play the game, you'll learn new abilities, but you need to like shuffle your deck of abilities because you can't have them all. You have to pick and choose which ones are going to be effective for your next mission or just your playstyle. At first, when you play this game, you know, things might be a bit overwhelming just because, you know, if you're new to this genre, like there is a lot. There is. It's not just a simple. You control one character, press a button to attack, right? So there's a little bit more thinking involved. But they do a good job at giving you some decent abilities to start out and easing you into more of the complicated mechanics later on. You know, that is the beauty of playing a game like this in a video game versus a tabletop game. You know, when I've played the tabletop games like this, RPGs, I have screwed up rules so many times, right? And then I would succeed in a mission, for example, but I didn't realize that maybe I had bent some rules, you know, without knowing, right? So what I love about playing a video game like this is, you know, you will learn real quick if you have read a rule wrong, or you've done a rule wrong, or you've done an ability wrong, because it just won't let you, right? So that's a huge pro for me when I'm playing a game like this, is I'm learning all these kind of like D&D like rules, and I know that I'm not screwing up the rules because the rules are already set. I love the icons, you know, that they use throughout the game. It's very simple, it's clear. You know, again, you're kind of hearing like the same thing over and over again. Is like, you can tell these are veteran game developers because they've been doing this for a long time. Things are very, very efficient when you play this game. The game just screams simple, clear, and just the like right quality where it is needed. It's not overextending in areas that are nice to have, but focusing on what is necessary. The gameplay levels, you will notice, like anything that's reachable by the characters or in gameplay space, aka the hexes, you know, they're kept super simple, but smartly. You know, if you look around the environment and the level, they set dress the perimeter really, really well, and that's where they start to add in the storytelling and the details, right, is around the gameplay area, so that in the gameplay area it's clear this is where you can play, this is your little playground you can play in, and then to help enclose it all in this universe and with the lore. And then the lighting is also phenomenal here. It's very clear, it sets the mood really, really well. So yeah, so I've been really enjoying this game. It's a game that I've been playing solo, but I started actually playing this game with some friends, you know, at like a friend's house, and I've really been enjoying it. I love the cool art style, and I hope you like this more casual style video called Pixel and Play, and I look forward to doing more of these for you all. Take care. Bye now.